In the earliest ages of the world, when humanity had multiplied across the face of the earth, a great darkness began to spread. The pristine beauty of creation, once vibrant and pure, became corrupted. Humanity, created in the image of God, had turned away, choosing paths of violence and wickedness. Day by day, the heart of mankind grew more evil, their thoughts constantly bent toward destruction. The earth groaned under the weight of their sin, filled with lawlessness and brutality. And God, who had looked upon his creation with such love, now looked upon it with profound sorrow. His heart was grieved that he had made humankind on the earth. The weight of their wickedness pressed down upon his very being, and he resolved to wipe out the human race, and with them, the very creatures that roamed the land and flew in the sky. All creation, tainted by humanity's fall, seemed destined for an end. Yet, even in this terrible judgment, a single ray of hope pierced the encroaching darkness. There was a man named Noah. In a world utterly consumed by depravity, Noah was different. He was a righteous man, blameless among the people of his time, and he walked faithfully with God. His life was a beacon of integrity and obedience in an age of utter corruption. And so, God spoke to Noah. His voice, perhaps a whisper carried on the wind, or a clear inner conviction, revealed a devastating truth and an extraordinary command. I am going to put an end to all people, for the earth is filled with violence because of them. I am surely going to destroy both them and the earth. So make yourself an ark of cypress wood. Make rooms in it, and coat it with pitch inside and out. Imagine Noah's reaction. A flood, unlike anything ever conceived, that would cover the entire earth? An ark, a vessel of unimaginable size, to be built by his own hands? It was a task that defied all human reason and engineering. God gave him precise instructions. The ark was to be 300 cubits long, 50 cubits wide, and 30 cubits high. A colossal vessel, built not for speed or elegance, but for sheer, unyielding survival. It would have a roof, a door on its side, and upper, middle, and lower decks. God then revealed the covenant he would establish with Noah. I am going to bring floodwaters on the earth to destroy all life under the heavens, every creature that has the breath of life in it. Everything on earth will perish, but I will establish my covenant with you, and you will enter the ark. You and your sons and your wife and your sons' wives with you. And not just his family. You are to bring into the ark 2 of all living creatures, male and female, to keep them alive with you. 2 of every kind of bird, of every kind of animal, and of every kind of creature that moves along the ground will come to you to be kept alive. And take with you every kind of food that is to be eaten and store it away as food for you and for them. Noah, faced with this monumental, unprecedented command, did not question. He did not waver. The Bible simply states, Noah did everything just as God commanded him. For perhaps decades, Noah and his family toiled. They cut down trees, shaped the massive timbers, and sealed every joint with pitch. He faced ridicule, doubt, and scorn from a world that had never seen rain, let alone a global flood. Yet, with unwavering faith, he continued to build, trusting in the unseen promise of God. Finally, after what must have felt like an eternity of labor, the ark stood complete, a colossal, silent testament to one man's obedience. Then, God spoke to Noah again, giving him the final instructions. Go into the ark, you and your whole family, because I have found you righteous in this generation. Take with you 7 pairs of every kind of clean animal, a male and its mate, and 1 pair of every kind of unclean animal, a male and its mate. and also 7 pairs of every kind of bird, male and female, to keep their various kinds alive throughout the earth. And then, a sight unlike any other. The animals began to arrive. From every corner of the earth, by some unseen guiding hand, they came. The fearsome predators walked alongside the gentle prey. Birds of every feather flocked overhead. Reptiles slithered and insects crawled. 2 by 2, or 7 by 7, they entered the single door of the ark, guided by an instinct beyond their own understanding. Imagine the cacophony of sounds, the sheer variety of life, all calmly filing into the giant wooden vessel. Noah, his wife, his 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and their wives, watched in awe and wonder. Once the last animal was safely inside, and the last provisions secured, God Himself closed the door of the ark, sealing them within its wooden walls. The world outside remained oblivious, lost in its revelry and wickedness. Then the heavens opened. For 40 days and 40 nights, the rain poured down, not just a gentle shower, but a torrent, an unending deluge unlike anything ever experienced. And as the rain fell, the springs of the great deep burst forth, and the floodgates of the heavens were opened. The waters rose steadily at first, then with increasing fury. They swelled, they covered the earth, sweeping away everything in their path. Houses, trees, mountains, all were engulfed. Every living thing that moved on land, every bird, every person, perished in the raging waters. The ark, once an impossible structure, now became a vessel of survival. It was lifted high above the earth, tossed upon the churning, boundless sea. For 150 days, the waters surged, covering even the highest mountains, until nothing on earth remained visible but the vast, dark ocean. And in that terrifying, desolate expanse, only Noah and those with him in the ark remained alive. But God remembered Noah, and God remembered every living thing, every animal that was with him in the ark. He sent a wind over the earth, and the waters began to recede. The springs of the deep and the floodgates of the heavens were closed, and the rain stopped falling from the sky. Slowly, day by day, the waters decreased. After 150 days, the ark came to rest on the mountains of Ararat. Imagine the feeling of that first gentle bump, the sudden stillness after months of constant motion. Still, the earth was covered. Noah waited. 40 days later, he opened the window of the ark and sent out a raven, but it kept flying back and forth until the water had dried up. Then he sent out a dove to see if the water had receded from the surface of the ground. But the dove could find nowhere to perch, because there was still water over all the surface of the earth. So it returned to Noah in the ark. He waited 7 more days and sent the dove out again. When the dove returned to him in the evening, there in its beak was a freshly plucked olive leaf. Noah knew then that the waters had receded from the earth. He waited 7 more days and sent the dove out again, and this time it did not return to him. The land was dry. Finally, after 1 year and 10 days since the flood began, God spoke to Noah once more. "Come out of the ark, you and your wife and your sons and their wives. Bring out every kind of living creature that is with you, the birds, the animals, and all the creatures that move along the ground, so they can multiply on the earth and be fruitful and increase in number on it." And so Noah, his family, and all the animals emerged from the ark. They stepped onto a new, cleansed earth. Their first act, upon touching the solid ground, was an act of worship. Noah built an altar to the Lord, and, taking some of all the clean animals and clean birds, he sacrificed burnt offerings on it. And the Lord smelled the pleasing aroma and said in his heart, "Never again will I curse the ground because of humans. even though every inclination of the human heart is evil from childhood. And never again will I destroy all life with a flood, as I have done. As a sign of this eternal covenant, God placed His rainbow in the clouds. Whenever I bring clouds over the earth, and the rainbow appears in the clouds, I will remember my covenant between me and you, and all living creatures of every kind. Never again will the waters become a flood to destroy all life. And so, from one righteous man, Noah, and his family, a new humanity began, a new beginning, marked by a promise of hope and a vibrant, multicolored arc of God's enduring faithfulness, stretching across the heavens. The world had been cleansed and life had been preserved, all because one man chose to walk with God in an age of darkness.